So, special conditions or groups. These, obviously, you have to, as a clinician, use good judgment, but these are some of the special conditions they're used for. You definitely won't want to use it with anybody that has an active swelling or lymphedema, any of those type issues, PAD, venous insufficiency, things like that nature. So they have their own outcome survey list after each patient is discharged and has been treated with the ASTYM system. There is an outcome for each extremity, and they basically, it's like a functional questionnaire like we use, but there's about 40 questions, and they just circle always, never, sometimes, that type of questionnaire. And then ask them about functional activities related to whatever they're being treated for. If it's hand, it's asking about grasping, carrying, riding, things like that. So they have their own database. Those are to be turned in after each patient's discharged, and there's the satisfaction surveys as far as what they collect. This is what they found that the system itself has helped the most with. It really, and I was kind of shocked, but adhesive capsulitis, I've used it for that, but I think maybe the theory behind that is that it's treating the whole shoulder blade, treats the lat, it treats the whole arm. Basically, you're taught to go from here, the lat, all the way down the arm to free up any tissue restrictions. So that could be the reason behind that. Sample outcomes data. This is what I was talking about a while ago. This is basically what they're finding with their outcome data are these pretty good results with a lot of tissue injuries. Hamstring strains, those are tough. But this is the percentage that resolved with ASTYM after failing other treatments, and the highest is we see is chiropractic. So yeah, we could go down to the chiropractor and set up a sign. No, I don't do that. Just kidding. But it does tend to help with those type of injuries. So there is research coming out. There's several case studies that have been published on the use of the ASTYM system. There's a randomized trial coming out here in 2013. There's about 40 to 50 subjects in each group, a control group and a treatment group. And they're working on more controlled trials, getting those to the research agenda. So the RRB. So who provides it? Well, it's just for PTs, OTs, PTAs, CODAs, and ATCs. So the guy that developed it does not allow doctors to get certified in it, or chiropractors, or any of the others. So it's free, basically. And there's a nationwide network. There's thousands of people that are certified in it. I know the Lexington clinic, or one of our sister clinics, there's a clinician there that uses the tools, the instruments there. He's ASTYM certified. So there are, it's kind of growing as it goes along, but the membership, basically they have a website. There's support for clinical staff. That you can customize your outcome survey. You can actually scan in your ASTYM analyst surveys and things like that. That's how they help produce their own research. So that's pretty good stuff. The network members say most of them are satisfied. 1% is not. but 88% of them have had an increase in referrals, and most of the members said they would recommend it to another clinic. So the cost, basically, it's around, numbers right, it's around $1,500 to $2,000 to get certified for upper and lower and trunk for the whole body to learn how to use the whole thing. It's about $500 per year to stay in the membership. The tools, the instruments, you pay a one-time rental fee for those. But the advantages is it helps save your hands, it saves time, less energy, better effects, those kind of things. So, more information, contact them. Any questions?
What's the difference between this and, say, Graston?
The biggest difference between the two, to be honest with you, that I found is looking at Graston, I don't think they emphasize the process as much as ASTYM. They do also, their strokes are different with Graston than they are with ASTYM. ASTYM will teach you how, they do a lot of longitudinal, long strokes, things like that, and, excuse me, sorry about that, that was off. But Graston does, basically, they teach you to do a lot of reverse strokes and shorter strokes on the tendon, from what I've seen and what I've researched. Of course, I've just watched some things on Graston, and I watched some treatments on YouTube, the authority for all medical demonstration. And that's what I found, because I wanted to see what the difference was. Also, the difference is Graston, when they sell you their instruments, you don't pay a yearly fee for them, or you don't. They're not rental; they're yours. So if you purchase them, ASTYM, they're rental. Basically, if you stop using ASTYM, you have to return the tools to them. You do pay a one-time rental fee, but like if you move to Jamaica, you know, and you're like, well, I'm not going to use them anymore. You have to send them back. They keep tabs on that. So.
What if you don't send them back?
Well, if you don't send them back, they have a guy named Brutus that rides a Harley, and he kind of hunts you down.
Graston's definitely a lot more expensive to buy the tools.
Yeah, it's about $5-6 cents. Yeah.
Do they utilize the concave surfaces as much? I know there's somebody marketed
That's
Graston.
another thing.
It seems like that uses more of the convex.
It's a convex treatment. Graston uses both sides. They use concave of the tool and the convex. The concave side gets a more superficial, like fascia glide. The convex, obviously, you're going to get a little bit deeper of the pressure with it. So you really, the good thing I like about it is they offer Graston, not that I know of, but Graston, I'm not sure if they have the same type of research data collection that ASTYM has. They have this, that's something that's unique to their company, is the data collection. Each patient is asked to fill that out before they leave to get kind of, and it's a lot like your Quick Dash, your Oswestry, or whatever, you know. It's a lot like that, and so that's basically the biggest difference. His company is located now in Indianapolis. That's where most of their courses are. They just had one in Parkersburg in June, I think, or May, or something like that. I would highly recommend it to you guys as far as your diversifying, your treatment of these tendinopathies, these type of things. Anecdotally, I've seen good evidence for it in the clinic, but more evidence is coming out for it. it's a good treatment system, and it gives pretty good results. So it's a good question though.
How many non-biased research studies do they have?
That's the problem, the non-biased studies. The one that's coming out is actually a non-biased one. The randomized controlled trial. They're basically using a group of 40 to 45 people in a control group, and 40 to 45 in a ASTYM treatment group, and they're measuring things like pain, functional abilities prior to and after, manual muscle test strength, grip strength, those type of objective things. But the problem with the ASTYM research is this: you have to be certified to give the treatment. So becoming certified, you obviously go into it with a predispositional belief that it does work. That's the type of thing. So if you're certified, you obviously believe in the product, or you would become certified. So there is some bias there, and that's a good question. That's a good way. Maybe there's thought brainstorming on how to decrease bias with research.
I think it definitely, I've seen it work with patients. I think the best research they would come up with like a clinical prediction rule or inclusion and exclusion criteria.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard, with athletes and the healthy population, I think it's definitely very beneficial.
Right.
I don't know, I would assume with their research they're coming out with that maybe they only did ASTYM or something, so they can't attribute gains to exercises or.
Right. Right.
But,
that's another thing, because it is a process, because you do use the stretching, you do use the exercise. It's hard to differentiate.
maybe like stretch group only, stretch group with ASTYM.
Right, and then maybe stretch and exercise only. And those are things, there's no reason that we couldn't, well, I just like to dream big, but, maybe sometime down the road, if questions come up, if this clinic's able to do something, a small little study, there's a lot of work involved in it, but, if people don't do research, then we don't survive, as a profession. We gotta put our money where the bank is. That's what they're looking at. That's good. That's a good point. I've seen it work. What it's worked primarily with in the clinics where I've worked is basically usually 50 and under. If you get a patient that's usually over middle age, it's tougher for them for their healing processes to really kick in, and they don't usually respond as well to it. So it kind of helps the body get back to what it wants to do, and that's heal. But the body's kind of healed in a bad stage. It kind of stopped in that scarring stage, kind of stayed there. So you got this non-functional tendon, that hurts every time you contract the muscle that's attached to it. If I have any other questions? And in the course, there are lists of contraindications, indications. They go through all those things because they don't want you, to hurt somebody by using them. You don't want to use the system over a blood clot. Yes, there we go. Yeah, it's moving now. So obviously, first thing is take with you the clinical judgment. Well, I'm going to do a quick demonstration, and then these are the references here. Some of them that we talked about with the studies. Thanks to the group that let me that sent the instruments in to let me show you guys. Thanks to Dakota Lee Hutchison on the camera. So, and thank you guys for attending. But I'm going to do a quick demonstration. So see, I think we turned the lights on here. Y'all can see. Here we go. So let's, everybody, lend me your elbow. I'm gonna do a
What a
demonstration.
volunteer, Amber.
I'm gonna do a demonstration. So I want to work on the hand to the elbow, do a quick demonstration. So whoever wants to, I want to set this up here. Which side is it, Amber? Your right?
Yeah.
Right side?
Here's another question. Do they have you use their own cream or anything?
No.
At Grafton, you have to buy their stuff.
No, they prefer, do you mind cocoa butter? They prefer cocoa butter, but you can use anything free up.
I avoid the warranty on Grafton. They don't use their stuff today.
Well, I think with Graston, the thing is, because it's like a metallic type of tool, theirs you can use anything. You can use, well, not anything, but they prefer that you use either cocoa butter or free up or biotone or something of that nature. Freeze, Voltaren. Nope. There's these little things. So, now let's say Amber, let's say she has tennis elbow.
Oh gosh, Amber, you okay?
Not really.
So-
It's really sore.
Oh, no. So what we do, obviously, you that on there. You have to kind of get this, no allergic to cocoa butter, are you? You know,
What about regular butter?
Maybe.
now your hand, do you have any hand problems or anything like that?
Today I do.
You do today? Okay, so you start with this instrument here. It's got to be kind of like a 60-degree angle, just about. Go up. So you can feel the bumpiness. Feel that there. So then you just back on, go back down. You got 3 swipes up, 3 swipes down. I'm not pushing very hard. That's the good thing. But you can definitely feel, you can tell that the instrument's going through there. So you do that twice with this one. This one's a little more for, treatment. That one's more for kind of feeling where she's got restrictions or bumps or anything like that. That way. Right in there. They're usually really tender along the medial side of the upper arm because of the nerve. Down through there. So you can already see how she's getting some redness going on there. Some patients might bruise. They don't recommend you use this on people when they're on a blood thinner because of the what it does. So let's say we're going to if she's got golfer's elbow, do some smaller strokes there. Go down that way. You'll do that a couple times, 2 times actually, and then you'll use this one for this is the localizer tool they call it, just because it's just used for small little treatments there. It's a little bit more tender there. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just going down through there, running arteries. Just kind of getting that fashion loosened up there. So now let's have you with the hand. The hand, you kind of use this thing as like a, put your arm under here, use this as a turning motion. Okay there? They call it the whip or whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of feel you're going to get there. Then you use this to break up the hand there. You're going to treat kind of the thumb a little bit there. For the Quera veins, you would have them turn over this way, and you would do the swipes like this. Start here and kind of go up around. Let's get the back of your arm here. So, you guys want to? Does anybody want to? I mean, you can practice on me, but do you want to feel how it actually feels when you go over the forearm? Right here.
What do you do in cases of extreme ticklishness?
Sedate them.
Do you use the tool to sedate them?
You actually do what Miyagi did. That's how that comes in. You just rub your hands together. Now, it's not uncommon for the person to have a little bit of bruising because you are.
I'm gonna come tomorrow. The black arm.
Like, what in the world? Yeah. Another one.
Did you ever sign a release with Drew?
Did you sign this release? So it's basically, you treat through there. So you would do the treatment. I didn't show you everything there. Then you would basically, you want to make sure you don't leave your patient in the muck, you know, of cocoa butter. Make sure everything gets that off there. Now, Amber has not been paid by ASTYM. You say, I feel great, anything like that. But what she would do next is, let's have you would start your stretches. You can do, they recommend, or they did recommend, there's nothing on there now, but you could do from 20 to 45 seconds. So you want to try, we just do about 5 of them, but so you want to stretch it out there and stretch it out here. And in the course, there's other things like drinking plenty of water, Coke, stuff like that. No, not Coke, but
Coke was not paid.
I'll donate my arm if anybody wants to see how it feels. You can practice on me.
Later, off camera.
Okay. So she's stretching there. And what she would do then is we would give her, some light exercises to help, reinforce the tendon, the lay down of fibroblastic activity, the new tendon, fibers, things like that would be produced. The body's trying to heal. So they would, they say to treat the whole chain. Anybody have any questions?
What does it do to the superficial lymphatic system?
It's not kind to the superficial lymphatic system. So if your person has if you have any suspicions that they have problems with the lymph system, it would be a good treatment for them. So it has to be somebody that's not, that has a normal functioning lymphatic system by far. Because it doesn't cause swelling or anything like that. But I've never seen it in a normal, healthy individual with normal functioning systems. But it may cause some of that petechiae where you get the red spots, from the treatment, or some of the, just the histamine release. Like you can see Amber's arm there. It's got some redness on it. But what's it feel like? Feels like cocoa butter.
It's so soft.
So, but it just, that's basically, so you can't use it on everybody. Not far. You got to be really judicious with it. Anybody have any? It's, you can get pretty aggressive if you've got somebody that's got like a trigger point, let's say maybe right here, and needs trigger point release. You can really get down in there with the tools. They have to be able to tolerate it, obviously, and they, you gotta use good clinical judgment. Say it again. If somebody's got a neoplasm or a tumor right there, right next to their trigger point, you don't want to be breaking that tumor up, so it can metastasize, common sense things. You just want to use good clinical judgment. So, thanks for your attention and your time.